Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Most Sports Recaps. Tonight we're recapping the Wild's 3-2 victory this afternoon at the Xcel Energy Center over the Anaheim Ducks. For the first 30 minutes, it looked like the Wild had kind of put behind the games in Colorado, put behind that kind of sloppy win against Anaheim on Monday. But then the other 30 minutes happened, and it was really rough. I mean, I cannot believe that this team did not go to overtime, or the Ducks tonight. Furthermore, if it would have gone in overtime, I think the Ducks would be walking out of the Xcel Energy Center tonight with 2 points. Cam Talbot was amazing in net. I know Talbot looked kind of shaky. That second goal, well, I don't think it's all on Cam Talbot because, again, I'm someone that, in my opinion, I don't know how you let a guy walk in all alone like they did on that second goal. But at the same time, it was Talbot. Goal was a little leaky for Talbot. It was not one of Talbot's best games, but that third period, Cam Talbot definitely locked it down. Definitely was the reason that the Wild were able to get out of there with the 3-2 victory over the Ducks tonight. Shout out to Nick Bonino. That was a really smart play going down, diving the puck. Yeah, he took the penalty, but at the same time, it wasted 3 seconds off the board. And you saw what happened. Anaheim got a really good shot off at the buzzer. And, let's just assume, obviously we can't say for certainty that that play would have developed that way had Bonino not done it. But, let's just assume that something similar to that happens. Well, Anaheim might get a good rebound goal and score. But because it was only down to a second, falling down on that puck allowed the Ducks to not get a rebound. They had one shot, couldn't get it behind Talbot, and the Wild get out of there with a 3-2 victory once again over the Ducks. The Wild scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, none in the third. The Ducks scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, none in the third. The first goal of the evening was Jared Spurgeon at 7:46. It was a tip-in goal from Ryan Suter and Kirill Kaprizov. That was Ryan Suter's 600th point. That one was his second assist. The second goal, the tied at 1-1, 8:10 into the first. Derek Grant from Manson and Getzlaff, a wrist shot goal for Anaheim. Spurgeon with his second of the game, third of the season from Suter. It was a tip-in power play goal. Second time this season the Wild have scored a power play goal in back-to-back games. That goal came at 9:52 into the first. And it made it 2-1 heading into the intermission. Then in the second period, Max Comtois, with his 10th of the season from Luderstrom, was a deflection. That was a goal I was talking about with Talbot looking a little leaky. All on Talbot? No. I'm someone that doesn't believe in absolutes when it comes to goaltending. I don't believe every goal is absolutely all on the goaltender. And I get a kick out of people that try to say, what a Dubnyk goal. Well, A, Dubnyk's not on the team anymore, so who cares? B, you can't just say it's all on the goalie. You can't have this make-believe notion that it's all on the goalie, because very few goals are all on the goalie. Sturm had his 4th for the season for Bukestad and Soucy at 7:01 into the second. That was a wrist shot goal. 3-2. That ended up being the game-winning goal. 3 stars of the game. The third star was Cam Talbot. Ryan Suter was the second star, and the captain, Jared Spurgeon, was the first star of the game for Minnesota. You take a look at the stats for this game. Obviously, the shots on goal, 30-26, favoring Anaheim. The stats all kind of tell the same story. This game, obviously, the exception of the penalty minutes, and 17 of those came from Ryan Getzlaff. So that was really, I believe, 9, if I'm doing my math correct. I'm not a math scholar. And then, face-off percentage, again, it really shows how much of a difference Mikko Koivu made in face-offs, because the Wilds have really struggled on face-offs this year. They did beat him on the power play, but the Ducks pretty much won everywhere else. The giveaway takeaway battle. This was not a good game for the Wild. I believe even Dean Evason said that this was an underwhelming performance. And this is where it gets so frustrating because the Wild looked so good the first period. It really looked good for most of the second period, but something around that 10-minute mark clicked, and all of a sudden Anaheim was controlling the game. Anaheim looked like a better team, and the Wild almost went into overtime tonight had it not been for Cam Talbot. They're not going to be able to do this against the Blues. You know, the Blues won't. Well, the Blues will make it pay. They're, the Blues have obviously had some injuries this year. That's obviously our next opponent too. The Blues have obviously had some injuries this year, but the Blues will make you pay if you have these kind of sloppy games. And I still think the Blues, if they get healthy, I think they're a bad man. Really necessarily unhealthy. It's not that the Wild have a bad defense. It's that I think the Blues have the defense to smother the Wild's offense. And, listen, the Wild obviously have a good defense. But it's not as much their game as it is the Blues game right now. So what worries me about this upcoming St. Louis game is that, can the Wild get these dirty wins, as you would call them, I guess. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying that, that's the kind of hockey the Blues want to play. And if the Blues can start on the Wild's offense, to tell the truth, I don't know. Because the Blues get good defense from their forwards, too. And sometimes that's where I think the Wild have these issues defensively, is with their forwards. Some players of note here. Nico Sturm had a game score of 2. Cam Talbot, again, good third period. Kind of saved a game. That's what the analytics are showing. I don't really remember the first goal. I was doing some stuff, and that's where I had to listen to the game. Second goal, kind of an iffy goal. Not all on Talbot, but one he probably should have saved. Nick Bonino, a game score of 1.09. Ian Cole, game score of 0.59. Nick Bjugstad, a game score of 1.89. And Kirill Kaprizov, after a negative 1.22, really bounced back strong, 1.30 for his game score tonight. Something else I want to talk about tonight, and it's because it happened tonight. Seems like every year the Wild have these stretches, maybe 2, maybe 3 of them in the year, where the fourth liners are best in the line every night. And I don't know if that's a good thing, or that's a bad thing, or if it's kind of both. Obviously in today's NHL, everyone's playing 30 to 45 second shifts. So, there really isn't line. But by the same token, at the end of the day, it's still about, those gritty guys on your bottom 6. Those are the guys that are going to win you the cup. Those are the guys that are going to get you to the cup. Those are the guys that are going to get you into the playoffs. So if you can get solid performances out of those guys, you're going to be in good shape. The big thing here tonight, I think, was Eriksson and Greenway missing Parise. In fact, Greenway was, in terms of game score, was the worst Wild player on the ice tonight. I don't have his exact game score. I'm just going by the chart. In fact, Cramarosa was actually second to last. Eriksson was also in the bottom 5. The top 5 game scorers: Nico Sturm, Nick Bjugstad, Jared Spurgeon, Ryan Suter, and Kirill Kaprizov. Bottom 5: Eriksson, Johansson. Well, that should have just not worked out for the Wild. Ryan Hartman, Joseph Cramarosa, and then Jordan Greenway was the worst on the ice tonight. Taking a look at the standings, Vegas still sits in first at 45 points. Colorado sits in second, 43. The Wild hold on to third place at 41. The Blues are in fourth for 37 right now. That would be your playoffs. The Wild would play Colorado. The Blues would play Vegas. But Arizona only 4 points behind the Blues of 33. Vegas at 32. San Jose at 28. And then Anaheim at a abysmal 24 points with 34 games played. With the win today, the Wild improved to 20-10-1 on the season. As I said, that equals out to 41 points. The Ducks fall to 9-19-6. Up next for the Wild, they take on the Blues, who are 16-11-5, and obviously going to be playing with some heavy hearts tomorrow night, as Bobby Plager unfortunately passed away today. He was involved in a car accident. That game can be found on Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Midwest, if you're in the St. Louis or surrounding area. And then Fox Sports Wisconsin will also carry the game. They're back on the regular station, not the Plus, and not on NBCSN. That will wrap up the Wild homestand before they'll head out west for 4 games. And get ready to see a lot of the Blues because we have not played them all season. And we basically have a month left in the season, actually, to be perfectly clear. So get ready to see a lot of the Blues. They actually have 2 3-game series, the Blues. Not all quite in St. Louis, not all quite in Minnesota. Kind of weird how that one worked out, but, they obviously had the postponements and everything. So that's where that comes into play. And that'll be all for our Wild recap tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, let's go Wild.